Well, the Vatican also is weighing in on the military conflict in Ukraine. Yesterday, Pope Francis made a heartfelt appeal to end the violence.
E chi appoggia la violenza ne profana il nome.
At a Sunday talk with pilgrims at the Vatican, the Holy Father prayed for progress in the negotiations for peace. He also lamented the reports of women and children being killed in some of the attacks and asked all countries to welcome those who are fleeing the fighting. Joining us now from Rome is Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Andreas, great to see you. Can you tell us more about what Pope Francis had to say yesterday?
Sure. Thank you, Tracy. Yesterday, more than 25,000 people came to the traditional Angelus prayer to St. Peter's Square. While the prayers are popular for pilgrims and locals to attend, this is indeed a huge number. It shows that people have a deep need to do something about the situation here in Europe, about the war in Ukraine. They resort to prayer and come to the church to do just that. In the past, the Pope had found strong words to denounce the Russian invasion in Ukraine. But yesterday, before the masses of people who came to make a stand for peace, he was even clearer. With an aching heart, he said, I add my voice to that of the common people who implore the end of the war. In the name of God, Pope Francis continued, listen to the cry of those who suffer and put an end to the bombings and the attacks. He condemned the barbarism of Russia's reported attacks on civilians, including pregnant women and children. Tracy, this is more than just words. This is a clear call for an immediate ceasefire.
Yeah, and strong words indeed, Andreas. What can a Catholic Church and the Holy Father, though, really do in a situation like this?
Well, there are three things that can be done, and that are being done right now, in fact. First of all, the people in the Ukraine, the civilians, they need our help. There's no better immediate network than the net of parishes and church groups that right away organized efficient humanitarian help for those fleeing the fight, those not able to leave, and those deciding to stay in the country. There are many examples, but one would be also the Knights of Columbus, who are also present in Poland and the Ukraine, who right away started to organize health convoys in a structured, efficient way. Of course, Caritas and many congregations are using their channels to bring help to the people. The second thing is diplomacy. The Vatican does not have military powers, no weapons, but some of the best diplomats in the world. And from the very beginning, Pope Francis and the Secretariat of State, headed by Cardinal Parolin, have used their ties to the Russian state and to the Russian Orthodox Church to first stop and then soften the war. Measuring success on this level is almost impossible, as we might never know what really happened without the Pope personally going to the Russian embassy to the Holy See or sending two of his highest-ranking cardinals to the Ukraine. The attacks might have even been fiercer and more deadly. And diplomacy, even when we see all those atrocious images, is important. I, for example, spoke with Russians living here in Italy, and there's a deep sentiment of not being understood by the West. Now, that doesn't sanction what is happening in Ukraine, but ensuring an openness to discuss is very important. And thirdly, and in my opinion, this is the most important thing, is prayer. Also, Pope Francis has been very clear on that point all along. Even before the attacks began, he designated Ash Wednesday as a day of prayer and fasting for Ukraine. He continued to motivate the faithful throughout the world to start prayer groups and initiatives for an end of the war. It's times like these that test our faith, not just the one of our brothers and sisters in Ukraine, but also our own. Do we really believe that God works, that prayer is not futile, but actually can move mountains and hearts?
And Andreas, before I let you go, what about our offices in Ukraine, the EWTN offices in Ukraine? Have you heard anything about them?
Well, from what we've heard, what I understand is that our team left Kiev and is now further to the west, where there are fewer and less fierce attacks. They're still broadcasting. As we all know, the situation is deteriorating as more and more civilian targets are being attacked. A very sad example of this reality was mentioned also by Pope Francis just yesterday. Russia should immediately stop, he said, the shelling of Mariupol in the south of the country. It's a city of 400,000, which was founded and named for the Virgin Mary. The Pope said to cease the armed aggression before the city is reduced to cemetery.
Well, Andreas, thank you so much for your report today. We really appreciate it. Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tracy.